Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the third show of our new season. This first week has been, wow. I don't know what's happening with the energies and the conversations and how much we're all evolving, but it has been one of the most expansive beginnings of a BTO season that we have had in the last 9 years. And with today's guest, it's more richness and deliciousness and again, expansion of consciousness, but it's expansion we're grounding in, not leaving ourselves in the energy, hoping to get something. And today's conversation is again with Allana, her ability to articulate what's coming up in the field, what is in your integrity, even though you may not be able to articulate it, or if you have a certain level of articulation, how to take it to the next level to reveal even more of what's available in this expanding energetic, in this expanding wisdom. So it's gonna be a phenomenal call. And if you haven't experienced Allana before, you're in for a treat. Yeah, truly. And so we're gonna get into transforming negativity into epic deliciousness. And I'm so glad Allana came up with the topic of transforming negativity, because there's a lot of us that we're experiencing, again, like this container wanting to erupt open, and we're not quite sure how to release the patterns, how to release the negative thoughts, how to release the limiting beliefs. And, or we think we've done the work and there's just that little bit more of a push before it pops. And so again, we're going to get into the conversation deeply, and then we're going to open up for live Q&A as well. So if you're interested in asking Allana your personal question, get ready, raise your hand, and we'll make the webinar much more interactive here in just a little bit. And if you're not familiar with Allana, let me tell you a little bit more about her. So Allana Pratt's an intimacy expert, and she's a global media personality and go-to authority for those who've suffered heartbreak and are ready to live unapologetically and attract an open-hearted, ideal relationship. Her vulnerability, and Allana, she speaks from embodied wisdom, and courage landed her a featured weekly column on the Good Men Project. And she's been chosen as an icon of influence and featured as a guest expert on Huffington Post, People Magazine, Forbes, CBS, ABC, Fox, and the Jenny McCarthy Show. This Ivy League grad and is the author of 6 books, has interviewed Whoopi Goldberg and Alanis Morissette, and hosts an edgy podcast, Intimate Conversations, where listeners learn how to find the relationship they deserve. She's a certified coach with close to 5 million viewers on YouTube. And Allana was asked by Lisa Gibbons to coach her during Dancing with the Stars. While supporting several nonprofits, Allana launched Heartmates, becoming the first to find the one, become the first. I have to say this again. I'm sorry, Allana.
No, it's all good.
Allana launched Heartmates, become the one to find the one, which is a dating app and intimacy training rolled into one. Now, Allana offers private and group coaching so that her clients can have a thriving, intimate relationship with themselves first, which naturally attracts and enhances their ideal partnerships. And with that, a little bit of a flubbed introduction, Allana, welcome to the show. It's so great to have you back.
Oh, it's great to be back. And thank God you're perfectly imperfect like I am. So don't, not to worry whatsoever. Yeah, we like to say, become the one to find the one, which keeps the one, is what's different about that partnering app as opposed to like a dating app. But we can talk about that later. And it is great to see you. And you just attract the greatest people. And the questions they ask have always been so up, under, and expansive for everybody. So thank you for having me back and being willing to talk about, it's not as sexy to talk about like negativity, right? We all just want to talk about the positive, but I think that's the issue, is we're too often clamoring for the pleasure and pushing away the pain, which grows the pain and makes us addicted to the pleasure. So we're not in our power, we're not present. But when we can be with it all, integrate it all, we're unstoppable. So
yeah, and what if we can make both the negativity and the positive pleasurable? What if they're both the same?
That would make me feel like dancing. That's right. What that would be. Yeah, well said. Brilliantly said.
why is this topic coming up so near and dear for your heart right now? What do you see that's evolving with the people that you're working with, where this is really coming up?
Yeah. This next level of freedom, creation, manifestation, abundance, love, and just being in our world. Being in our world is intense. And so I always like to see things sort of like Neo in the Matrix, you know, when he got his eyes hurt, he started to see everything as energy, the lines of energy. That's sort of how I feel the world. Like if it's going to get more dark, then there's a balance of light, right? Or if it's going to get more intense in terms of negativity, how can we integrate and have the balance of both of them? So for me personally, because you know me, I just go vulnerable right out of the gate. Since I spoke to you last time, I think I was in a relationship last time, right?
Yeah.
What was I? Yeah, I was in a relationship last time. So Thanksgiving, we broke up. And it was, I'd say, I just turned 52. So it'd be one of the most intense endings of a relationship in general, but endings of a relationship. And what I discovered was, even though I'm brave, even though I'm transparent, even though I lead with vulnerability, I was ashamed of what was going on for most of this relationship. And I had no idea the effect of this level of shame that was still unresolved within me.
Oh, wow.
And so this is important for me to share as a leader who's badass at what I do, to also be transparent with, I don't know if we ever get there. I don't know, like, is there like this perfect place? I don't think so. It's just the next level of our evolution. If we choose to be love, anything unlike love is going to arise. And this little jewelry thing that I'm wearing actually has an arc from the Resonance Project with Nassim Haramein, who I've interviewed on the podcast. So you know Nassim. I mean, it also has from Damanhur, Italy. It has a seraphim, I think it's called. So it's a really powerful thing. And a bunch of us went to Egypt in November, inside the pyramid on 11/11 at 1:11 in the morning, inside the pyramid, and did ceremony. And we chose to infuse humanity with love.
Oh, beautiful.
But we're part of humanity. So we were infused with love. So anything other than love is going to arise. So it's been a little intense. And the negativity that I didn't want to admit was in there, didn't want to face and feel that was in there. There was no place to go other than to face and feel it. And it's good. And it's freeing and it's evolving. And that's what I want to bring all of us to today.
Yeah. And I love that you're bringing that up in that way also, because I'm aware in my life and in my circle of friendships and influence that there's a deep purge. There's a slate that's being wiped clean, and we're harboring those things that would hold us back or that keep us stuck in repetitive patterns that are really not healthy for how we're evolving.
Yeah.
They're purging to the surface. They're coming through, and they're really forcing us to see ourselves in a different light, but compassionately.
Yeah.
And what I found also is that there's a lot of people that are in this in-between state of feeling it, resistance of feeling it, not knowing what to do with the negativity, but feeling something on the other side and not quite sure how to cross that threshold for the transition.
Yeah.
How do you help people through that?
Well, generally, I tend to live through it, grow from it, teach what I've learned. Like I'm always here to teach what I've learned. And so in general, when the impetus, the experience wasn't too intense for me, I would face it, feel it, integrate it, learn from the wisdom, take a new action, have a new point of view, a new belief, and away we'd go. This past relationship, I moved in kind of quicker than I normally would have. And then within moving in for a week, violence began.
Oh, wow.
Hadn't experienced that before. And I was so shocked and shaming of myself that I'd got myself into this and I didn't see it coming. It was a bigger piece of energy than I'd ever had to face or feel or integrate ever before. And so instead of facing and feeling and integrating, I did what so many of us do. I just pushed it away in self-shame and I went in to fix it. But I did the spiritual words. I said, I'm going to inspire a change. I'm going to hire us a coach to support us. I'm going to bring out the best in him. And I'm one of the best coaches on the planet. I can do this. But I was still spiritually bypassing. I just couldn't face myself that I had created this. And so it just went on and the cycle continued. Oh, then the honeymoon phase, I'm sorry. And then the tension would build and it would happen again.
Wow.
And the shame was even worse. And what am I going to say to people? And I'm a fraud. I've never, John, in my life experienced this level of intensity coming at me and shame inside of me. And honestly, I wouldn't have left. And I'll be really transparent as well. I used to judge women or men, I suppose, but who stay in abusive relationships. Well, just leave. You're smart, you're strong enough, leave. I didn't understand until I was in it. And I think it happened to me so I could teach about it with humility, compassion, rather than just surface expertise, because that's never happened to me. I think that's partially why the universe gave it to me, because when I was experiencing the abuse, that's a level of lowering my vibration. Then when I was terrified when it was going to happen again, that PTSD, hypervigilance, that lowered my vibration again. And then when I shamed myself, that lowered my vibration again. So I literally didn't have the capacity, the courage to make a change. All I could do was just get through another day with a smiley face on.
Wow.
And if it wasn't for him ending it, I would have stayed in for another round and another round and another round. And now I have such deep compassion for people that are in toxic, abusive relationships. We really don't have the capacity to leave. But what we do have the capacity for is to ask for help. We do have that capacity. But to get out ourselves, I'll just be honest, I didn't.
I'm also finding though that in these situations, because I found myself in a situation where I was in a relationship that if it hadn't gone as quickly and as deeply as it did, some people, oh, you're moving in too quick or you're doing these other things. It's like, I saw that the speed of which things were moving, if they hadn't moved that way, I would have prolonged that relationship for years instead of months.
Good point. I have no regrets for going as fast and deep as I did because I got the lesson and it was intense. And then I got out, so it was like 10 or 11 months. So I'm totally in agreement. I think our soul knows on some level when we make a commitment, I choose love, I choose freedom, I choose living unapologetically. I love the sun setting on your face. It's very lovely. So when we choose that, we're going to get the next lesson. And so at the end of this all, I've called it a success.
Yeah.
I've decided, no, I'm not defeated. I grew more than I've ever grown before. So no shame, no regret, and no blame whatsoever. And I want to tell you this incredible outcome that I didn't even see coming. So that's kind of what happened. And it ended with like protective order stuff, like stuff I'd never had to deal with in my life before. I mean, I go to these shelters to do speeches. I don't sit there filling out paperwork. Like I've never had to be this humbled and forgive myself for shaming myself and judging others, right? So this has been really big for me. But what I discovered, I think I'm quite feminine and juicy and sexy, and we're going to talk about deliciousness and all the rest of it. And I feel like dancing and in my sparkle shirt. And I also think I'm quite driven. My masculine, I'm quite a leader and I'm driven and I don't give up. But what I didn't see is the shadow masculine in me. It wasn't driven from inspiration of love when I really took a look. It was motivated out of fear. You need to in order to. It was still like a shadow masculine that didn't know how in a moment when that first happened to say, I'm out of here. Protect myself. It was still not a healthy masculine that provided and protected me. It went into the drive of, I'm going to fix this. Right. As opposed to thank you, but no thank you, and leave, right? So what I realized is I did my healing after November, December, we're now in the end of January. I realized, you know what? I never had grandfathers. Okay. My father, although we're great now, at the time, were drunk and stoned. Okay. Never had a brother. Okay. So I haven't really learned in my bones and in my blood, healthy masculine. I sure been seeking it. Please make me safe. Please see me. Please approve of me. But I hadn't really had it in my bones. And so what I discovered was I need to awaken that within me. We all are divine. We all have this masculine and feminine within us. We all have our shadows and we all have our ability to be our best selves. So instead of looking outside for this guy that'll finally complete me, even though I would not say it that way, I would say a lot more spiritually aware, but that still was the little girl wanted. I cultivated him on the inside. And I learned, oh, here's where I could protect myself. Here's where I could have spoken up. Here's where I could have put down a healthy boundary. Here's how I could have just been brave and moved on into the unknown and trusted. Here's how I could be a better leader. I grew up. So that felt great. And then on my birthday, just a couple of weeks ago, my dad being the source of this wound, drunk, stoned, not present growing up, right? He called for my birthday. And normally I want to impress my dad, or Dad, will you finally make me feel safe? Like there was still that stuff, but I'd done so much work. And this last relationship was so intense. He said, so what are you up to? And I told him I'm moving to India. We can talk about that later. And he goes, and how's your relationship? I said, oh, we broke up. He goes, what happened? And John, it was a choice moment. I'm like, I don't need his approval. I approve of myself. I don't need him to make me safe. I'm protecting myself. And I'm not going to hide who I am, regardless of what he thinks about me. I'm going to be vulnerable. So I said, Dad, and I told him the story. And I swear, for the first time in 52 years, he didn't fix me. He didn't judge me. He was kind. And I felt safe in the presence of my dad's listening for the first time ever.
Wow.
And I'm confident it's because I cultivated that in me, for me, so that could be holographically projected in him. And something inside of me that it's been spinning with hypervigilance, trying to be safe, but try to be loved, try to be safe, try to be loved, like for 50 years. It collapsed, John. It collapsed. And everything inside was so quiet and so beautiful. Yeah.
That's beautiful, Allana. And for me, it takes me also where you dismantle the shame, again, the toxic shame. So as you got into a sovereign place with it,
yes,
with compassion and vulnerability, right? Not from, I got to get rid of shame, it's got to be eradicated, all that, but from understanding yourself and what was happening and
yes,
and your choices, and then to express that vulnerability.
Yeah.
Without having the charge of shame, just allowed it to be received differently. Like there was nothing for your father to bounce off of in that field.
No. And I'm glad that I loved my ex so much that I wanted him to heal. I could see is my coaching capacity, the wound that was causing all of it. I love that I believe in love in the face of anything. Like I don't want her to die. I just choose my healthy masculine to protect me and say, thank you, but no, thank you. And so to not shame myself any longer for having done that. And then to see, wow, I'm not alone. There's a lot of very successful women out there, badasses. What do we call them these days? Boss, I'm the boss, whatever, who don't necessarily have the best relationships at home and don't know who to turn to. And the shame grows because it's so incongruent with their level of success out here to have this level of shame going on the inside. So I feel part of my next phase of showing up in the world with heartmates and various things is to make it a safe place for all of us in our glory to be human and not to shame ourselves and to be together as we evolve. And for me to also show what it looks like to tell the truth, but not to blame or shame or judge my ex, because he's doing his best. You know, I'm doing my best. And we were literally catalysts for each other to heal the deepest wounds that each of us have been able to shine on and not have to deal with until we looked at each other. The intensity was so beautiful that it combusted into growth. And I thought it was going to be living happily ever after together, but it's going to be living happily ever after into separate relationships one day. And no regrets. And I'm so grateful for him.
I love that you're sharing this. And again, the power of your experience rather than created something that has to be swept under the rug for the sake of appearances or a mask or whatever it is that we have to personify for the sake of being received or fitting in somewhere.
Yeah.
And I want to bring it into how it can relate to anyone in the audience that's facing negativity or a challenge where they just can't find it and they're shamed because they're stuck for so long. I think a lot of the problems in the personal development spiritual genres that we work in is that people get shamed because they don't think that they're far along to where they're supposed to be.
Sure.
How is it that someone like you can be in this place? And again, the certifications you have and how long you've coached and the type of clients that you've worked with,
Yeah.
it's like you've had your blind spots.
Yeah.
How is it that you reconcile? And again, I'm sure that's part of the shame, but how is it that you reconcile not being able to see your own blind spots? How is it that you got to it much more quickly than perhaps someone who hadn't been doing the type of work that you do? And how can our audience members apply some of that wisdom in their own lives if they're feeling this place that I should be somewhere that I'm not, and
Yeah.
and without the shame and the guilt?
Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad we have a long time to talk about this because it's a big question. The
Yeah.
first thing I would say is probably somewhere along the line growing up, we've been told to keep a secret. Don't tell people about the secrets of this family. Don't tell the, so you were rewarded for shutting up.
Yeah.
Right. So have compassion for yourself that you were, as soon as that truth came up to be processed, and that we all are here to grow and evolve. No. Someone said, no. Keep the secret, look good, right? So it's in your DNA, it's in your cellular memory. It's been imprinted in there, and it needs to be addressed on that depth of quantum psychology level to get out of there, because we all know better. But this, I knew better, but there I was, it was in my imprinting. Like, don't tell anybody that dad punches holes through the walls. We don't tell people that. Don't tell anybody the rage that goes on when, dad comes home from work and mom, and then you hide in your bedroom every night. Don't tell anybody that. So it was in me. As soon as that would happen, keep the secret. And I had to unravel that through the deep processes that my coaches take me through and that I take my clients through. So that would be number one. Number two, when we get there, and I call it like little you, when we can go inside and find that little ashamed one. And I looked at her, and we can all take this exercise and look at the one who's hiding the secret and who's so ashamed. The first thing has to be not judgment. The first thing has to be, I'm just going to sit with you here and let's just talk about this. Yeah, but last time you shamed me and got mad at me. I know, I'm sorry. I just wanted to look good because I thought that's how we're going to be safe and successful and abundant and loved and not alone. I'm really sorry. I haven't been good about just sitting and just being with you. Please accept my apology. I'm trying again. And so it's about building this relationship with the ashamed one until the ashamed one starts to calm down, and then get curious, like, and compassionate. Like, you have every right to feel this way. Look how you were raised. You have every right to feel this way. Like I would say to me, he looked like the package, and everybody said you're the perfect couple, and you're so committed, and so I had to just have compassion and be curious with this self. And then when you take yourself off of comparison with others, and it's just you, yourself, and I together, you don't have to compare yourself to where others are or where society says you're supposed to be, and just get off that whole time and move into eternity, right? So there's nowhere to go because it's eternal. It's not like I'm behind or ahead. It's none of that. It's not comparison to others. It's none of this. It's just, I'm one with me. And I'm going to sit with this. And one of the biggest gifts is to go, and I love you exactly as you are. And I accept you, even if you never change, for eternity. That's unconditional love.
Yeah.
Now, that I did not want to say that. I wanted her to stop being ashamed, stop attracting these kind of guys. Then I had a long list of what I wanted her to do. But that doesn't work. What works is unconditional love. I will sit with you forever and love you and accept you, even if you never change. I got you. I'm one with you. We are one. And something occurs when you do that on the inside. Negativity isn't negativity. It's just a growth opportunity. It's just another experience of what it is to be human. All the good and bad and third dimensional, right and wrong and superior and inferior and all that bullshit, it just dissolves into more like 5D, 7, 9, however high you want to go. And you just see everything as an opportunity to love yourself home. Love yourself home. And then all the bitterness dissolves, the blame dissolves, and the confidence, but not a badass overpower, not that kind of, but a and knowing, like a spine, heart open, just a glance. Kind of like, I wish I'd met Maya Angelou before she passed, but Maya Angelou has that energy to me.
Right.
Don't fuck with her. But then she writes poetry about diamonds in her vajayjay. So like, I love her. She's like so great, right? Yeah.
That's great. So when you go into that process and you go into that acceptance and that honoring and really, again, it's the concept of self-love that we've been speaking about has been evolving for me dramatically into more of an embodied experience and an intellectual conversation.
Yeah.
So that's coming more alive. When is it that it starts turning into deliciousness, the negativity that you talked about?
It's sort of simultaneously all there, but we have to feel what we don't want to feel first to feel the deliciousness that's already there. I'll give you an example of the past and then an example of the present. I'm looking at my dead mother and she's not there. Like, she's not asleep. It's different. She's dead. I can tell her soul's not there. And if we choose to keep our heart open to this pain, to the negativity, to the ouch, long enough, 1 potato, 2 potato, 3 potato, like a good 5-7 seconds of, oh my God, this is the most painful thing I've ever felt. If you keep feeling all of that of reality, the pain, and you keep breathing, it'll go all the way into, oh my God, she's not in pain from cancer. She's one with all. She's not in her body. She's everywhere. She's everywhere. She's in me. Like bliss, right?
Yeah.
Within 10 fucking seconds, like that's what happened because I kept my heart open. Okay. That's a baby example. Next weekend, my sister's wedding, we pretended she was on vacation because we were also devastated. I got very drunk and pregnant. And so 9 months later, there I am giving birth to my child. And there he is on my lap. And it was the opposite. Oh my God, bliss. Look at it. It's a miracle. He's looking in my eyes. Oh, shit. How am I going to keep him alive? Jesus Christ. How am I going to get, oh God, like it was got fear, right? Bliss to fear.
Yeah.
With mom, it was pain to deliciousness. It's all there in the field all the time. We could call it presence. It's when we can be with all, resisting nothing. One of the definitions of enlightenment is like allow all, judge nothing, resist nothing, something like that. The deliciousness is always there. But when we are triggered as a human to grow and evolve, we're not meant to go, oh, you just died, how delicious. Like, no, we're meant to go, oh, ouch, so that we can value the beauty of the pain. It's a different flavor of deliciousness. It's not the bliss deliciousness, but it is beautiful because it's because you loved. That's lovely. That's beautiful. That's brave. That's courageous. That's epic. And then through that, if we continue to do this work and have this relationship with ourselves and not push ourselves away so we can be there, all of life is there all the time. And so you don't get addicted to the elations and you don't resist the depressions. You can just more quickly come back to the center. But I don't think there's anything wrong with being sad. No. I mean, think about it. Kahil Gibran, the prophet, like it, I'm kind of butchering this, but it's the sorrow that carves the well to fill with joy.
Right.
If you don't have a very deep well, you're not going to be able to pour very much joy, and you're going to kind of have a neutered life where everything's fake and fine. I would rather cry and have an ugly cry and sob and feel and be able to have ecstasy and bliss and deliciousness and be fully present to what it is to be alive. And that's why I call heartmates heartmates. It's sort of like pain of mom dying into bliss, bliss of my son being alive into pain. Can I keep him alive? It's the same thing. It's all just a choice to be here and experience. There's no goal or I got to get there in one day. And it's not very exciting for the ego. The ego wants to get there and achieve and be better than in one day. It's not very sexy to your ego, but it's very nourishing to your soul that this moment today, even though the Indian consulate hasn't got my visa done yet, even though I'm not packed yet, even though I just broke up with my boyfriend, even though this moment is all there is. This moment is perfect. And when I get to India and everything gets unpacked and everything, it's not like that's going to make me happy because there's going to be just as many new challenges of learning a new country and all the rest of it. Like there's no place to get to, people. I know that's not very fun or sexy, but right here, right now.
There is a sexiness to it actually, because for when I find, and you write about this on your sales page, we'll get into the special offer in a little bit. Yeah. You're going from a place of irritation to intimacy. And when we go into the intimacy and we allow that to purge through us and have an embodied experience with it, our empathy and our sensuality actually becomes heightened. We become more aware in our etheric body and in our physical body. And when that happens, we become more available for the sensations that feel on either end of the spectrum, either really heavy and dense or really elated. And we know how to have a different relationship with it instead of numbing out.
Yes, well said. Thank you. Thank you. I think it's delicious to be brave enough to cry my face off.
Yeah.
I think it's delicious to be brave enough to ask the guy that runs this Airbnb to go dancing this weekend. Right? Like, that's, to me, I'm like a cougar, whatever. It's all because I'm giving myself permission to be me. And it's even delicious to notice where I don't and to forgive myself.
Yeah.
Even that's delicious.
Lena, how do you teach people? So again, we have these emotions that may come up. We have deep sadness, someone passed away, and to take it, to feel it on the spectrum, it's beautiful, but sometimes we're so caught in the repetitive loop of the pattern that we don't know how to get to that breaking point of feeling fully, because our mind wants to keep in the victim cycle, or this is how we do it cycle, or we just can't get out of that loop.
This is really important. This is very, very important for all of us to understand. If we don't fully match, meet, duplicate the emotion, if we do it 85%, 90, even 99%, what you resist persists, and it's going to stay there, and you're going to stay in the loop. You're going to stay in the loop, okay? So the processes that I've been trained in, that I've trained my Allana Pratt method coaches in, that I'm going through a certification right now with 9 more coaches, we are trained, we could call them quantum psychology, spiritual technology. They are more than just relief. They are lasting change. I think it's cruel to give you something that just gives you a little bit of a hit, and then you're right back down where you were, but probably worse, because now you're beating yourself up that you didn't solve it, okay? So these processes, and I do believe you can do them on your own, because I solo process all the time, but I'm also very practiced. It's faster and easier to have someone else hold space for you, because it's hard to be the banks of the river and the river at the same time.
Yeah.
But the idea is, if you go into these negative feelings or sadness or fear and you kind of just dip your toe, you're going to grow that baby. But even if you go 99%, you don't fully meet yourself, honor yourself, respect yourself, be with yourself. You have every right to be this sad. I'm with you. I'm feeling you. Not like, oh, it's going to be fine. Let's just get better so we can go out and get the next guy or the next client or the next whatever. Okay. You have to be there with yourself. If you 100% do it, it'll be duplicated and it'll dissolve. And it'll dissolve into the next form of energy. It'll integrate into the next form of energy. It'll process into the next form of energy. But that's what it takes. And that takes bravery on your own behalf, humility on your own behalf. And it takes, in my experience, someone at your level, my level, like coaches at this level, to hold space. Because I'll feel it in my bones if they're just doing it half-assed.
Yeah.
One process called the theater of redemption is very politically incorrect. It's awesome. But you want me to do that? I go, not for realsies, just in your mind's eye. Okay. But if you don't go for it, you stay bitter and angry. And then, like, my mom died at 61. I'm 52. She died at 61.
Wow.
Because nobody was there to help her integrate all of that anger and rage for all those decades. And it ate away at her liver, and that was the end of her. So it's serious stuff here, people. It's important to integrate all of this. And when you can love your scared self just as much as your happy self, nobody has power over you.
None.
You're unstoppable. No matter what the universe is going to dish out, bring it. Doesn't mean you don't get scared. Just means you love your scared self.
Yeah. And the scariness isn't as scary as it was before.
Totally. It starts to become a little exciting.
Yeah. It's like, oh, something's coming through. Wonder, it's like, okay.
Yeah. And then we get to like process, I don't remember what it is, 7 or 8, and I have to like 10 process making love with life. You don't wait around for genital copulation to make love with life. Like, everything can be this juicy, lean in experience of like the sunrise and the sunset, or your yummy coffee or whatever. But you can also lean in and make love with things that don't go well, right? With the discomfort. I can lean in there too. I can suck the marrow out of this experience too.
Yeah. And again, if we don't expect one to drain us and one to fill us, and we're in the balance of both, it's like, okay, this is all exciting. I'm in awe and wonder of calling the IRS as I am about this birthday party that's coming up.
That's really good.
Right. And so I'm just as excited about calling them as I am as excited about this. And we can change our perspective around it. something shifts in us tremendously.
Oh, I just hired a CMO the other day. It's like a 4-month like trial, and then it's about scalability. So my systems need to get better to scale to this next level. And at the end, I know it's what I need. I don't want to do it. I don't like numbers. I don't like all this stuff. I just want to like create and just be joyful, whatever. And he's like, isn't this going to be fun and sexy? I'm like, no, it's not. I'll just be honest with you. But it is, because by the time I get through to the other side, everything I've been scared of, everything I've been avoiding, everything I don't know how, everything I feel like I'm an idiot, I'm going to face, I'm going to feel, I'm going to learn, I'm going to grow. Then I'm going to delegate it to my operations people, and I'm going to delegate the rest of it. But I know it'll get sexy soon. But I'm okay that it's not sexy now. It's all good. I'm still leaning in, and I'm still going to have a great old time. We have our first VIP tomorrow. So
exciting. Oh my God, you're doing so much and leading so many people. Allana, I want to get into your special offer before we get into some Q&A. Because I want to do that. And also to make sure that everybody that's on the call gets access to it, because to work with you at this level, it typically doesn't come at this price point. And so again,
it never comes at this price point, except for you.
Yeah.
To be really honest.
Yeah, for y'all, really, it's, again, you should look at Allana's bio one more time and see the type of people she's worked with in organizations. This is a gift that keeps on giving. So I encourage you to follow along here and also listen as to the why Allana created this. And that has me excited also, because I think it's a big piece for many of us that perhaps we've done the work. You ever wonder why you still need to do forgiveness on your mother and father, or why, but you've worked around the money issue, but no, I've worked on the relationship challenge. And it's like Allana said, we've gone in 85, 90%, but that 10% that's lingering, or the 5% or the 2%, it's like where we're heading in consciousness requires and is demanding. And I'm telling you, it's demanding that much integrity, because if you think you want to change the world, unless you're bringing the essence of your integrity in fully, then these patterns are going to reveal themselves that much more quickly. And we may get frustrated but I've done that work. I've done the family constellation. I've done the forgiveness work. I've repatterned my limiting beliefs. I went deep into that. It's like, there's still something that your little one inside is saying, but you're still not listening. There's more.
Not to the next level. The way I see it, and the way my coaches coach me, is that the world is now like the third dimension closed. Those of us that aren't going aren't going. And those of us that are, a lot of us are still in the fourth corridor before we're at the fifth dimension. Life is deeper, wider, grander, broader. Yeah, we did our work when it was still 3D. We did. We totally did. And we rocked it. Awesome. But now it's actually bigger and wider. So there's more of us to expand. And so there's more of us to heal. So it's not that you didn't, but there is more to do. Me included, people, me included.
Too,
so that's the science of why there's still more to do. The next is, I don't know about you, but I'm going 70, I'm going 90, I'm going as far as I can go.
Me too.
So every time I am brave enough to say what else is possible and who else could I be for myself and others, then that expands me and the next level arises to integrate. So that's that part. And the other part is, it's really important to me, and why I created this specific offer around negativity, turning it into epic deliciousness, is because I believe that one of the downfalls of the spiritual growth community is that we value happiness and pleasure, and no, it's all for the good. And I'm kind of exaggerating on purpose because it's saying all of me is not okay. Excuse me, I thought we were talking about oneness where all is one. Well, that would mean all the sad, mad, scared stuff is just as valuable to learn about as the happy and all the rest of it. But a lot of the spiritual community only wants to focus over here and spiritually bypass. And they stop their growth. And those are the ones, in my opinion, stuck in the fourth corridor before the fifth dimension, because they aren't willing to honor and love their scared little one as much as their happy one and be free. Okay. So this is not about re-traumatizing you or focusing on the negativity. It's just anywhere that you've been resisting anything or doing it only at 85, 90, or even 99.9%, that it's time to like integrate that and set you free. Okay.
Part of the integration, and I think this is really important, and you nail it on the head, and you do it every time, It's how you do it. By the way, April's about to type in the link if she hasn't already for the special offer in the chat box. And so if you want, click on the link to get to the special offer page, or go to beyondtheordinaryshow.com/Allana27. It'll take you to that same page. So what you do with your programs and how you teach is, yes, you're transforming negativity. And again, one of the things that I see that falls short in a lot of programs is that they stop at the transformation and they don't take it to the other side of the equation and turning it into epic deliciousness. And so we're stuck in the void, not knowing what to do next. We don't know how to break into that reality because we're still trying to figure out how we're leaving this one.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Because this next phase takes a shitload of bravery and a lot of self-worth to receive. We say we want all of it, but we're still so marred in this stuff. We actually don't have to risk anything because we just keep doing our story. And then when you integrate it, this next level isn't like, ta-da, here it's all, no, it's like, oh my God, to be the capacity to receive it is a capacity, people. This whole capacity isn't going to be able to receive that amount of glory, money, love, joy, epic orgasms, whatever it is, okay? This is, and you're like, how do I do that? Am I worthy of that? I am so like self-worth confident, Chica, right here. No, this next level, like I am the first entrepreneur in residence ever in India with this company. They're putting me up. I'm going to have a maid and a driver and a cook, and I'm going to have a team. You'd think that would be all like so great. I'm just like, am I allowed? What am I going to do with myself? Oh my God, I'm going to have more time to like take care of myself and have more pleasure and have more connection to oneness and go away on the weekends. Like my schedule, I work like 6 or 7 days a week. I have for like a long time. I'm not allowed to work on the weekends. I'm going away on the weekends. I'm going into nature. I'm doing my ashrams and Ayurveda and yoga. I'm doing I don't know. It's hard for me. I'll get used to it. Don't you worry. But it's hard for me right now to believe I'm worthy of this next level. So there's work to do on the other side to receive it all. And then to be able to give from the overflow, right? So you're totally right. So back to this offer. You're right. I used to only ask if you had a checkbook and a pulse, and then I would work with you. That's like 20 years ago, right? Now, 25, 50, 100K to work with me, okay? Personally on a private level, which is what we're going to be doing together. I'm going to be leading you through a group process. I do lead the group calls every single week with all my programs because I just love everybody so much. But in order to have this time with me, just me, it is rare. I don't do it anymore. You could do it with my coaches, and they're still hundreds of dollars an hour, and they're amazing. So to have this opportunity for us to be together with me is really rare. And I'm doing it because the people you attract, John, are so willing to do the work. And we can't have too many of us hanging out in the fourth corridor. Good on us that we didn't like stay in the third, but we need support to this next level. And we need to be able to be brave enough to be humble. You know, it's okay that let go of perfection, let go of getting there, let go of comparing yourself, and just have this humble curiosity and innocence and wonder of like, how could it get even more delicious? And all the little straggling little yous that you thought you were through. Oh, come here, sweetheart. Like, don't bash them on the head with a 2x4. Just go, oh, there's more. Come here. Let's explore even more. A real, innocence. And the deliciousness will be right there for you. So yeah, I'm going to take you through a process, a quantum psychology process. I'm going to take you through the whole fucking process. Okay. It's going to take 90 minutes. You'll have the recording. And when we get through this to the other side, it's not just having a better mindset. You don't need me for that. It's a heart set. It's the whole embodiment. I'm not into a better attitude. That doesn't do any good. It's about really totally changing this thing that is lodged, imprinted, like I just shared vulnerably from the beginning of our interview. What was lodged in there that led to that behavior that made me shut down, don't tell the secret? That wasn't my brain. That wasn't my good attitude. That was imprinted inside of me. And I didn't know it was there until it got that bad. And I just don't want it to be that bad for you if I could have anything to do with it, whatever your version of that is. So let's get to those deeper imprinted beliefs. Let's get through all the way to the other side. And then let's expand your capacity to receive it, have it, not sabotage it once you get it, okay? And then you're gonna have that recording to do whatever beliefs that keep coming up over and over and over, okay? And if you really like hanging out with us, of course, come play with us on more levels of coaching and retreats and the rest of it. And if this is the only time you ever hang out with me and we just do this call, so be it. But this, let me love the shit out of you and have my way with you.
And show you what's possible. And for me, it's like you're lighting the pathway for, again, where so many of us may be stuck in the, okay, we've done the work, but what's next? It's like, and I'm hanging out here not knowing what's next. And so to be able to feel, sense, and, or even just be guided into seeing the light of what that next step is, it's like a whole new world opens up, and your ability to take inspired action because someone showed you the energetics and the grounded application on how to from this place that you're in. It's life-changing.
Yeah, thank you. You're saying something really beautiful too. I just love talking to you, John.
Me too.
More comes through me talking to you than just sitting here by myself. There are truths, wisdom, an evolutionary spark that is dormant until we are in the presence of someone who sees us without judgment and loves us unconditionally.
Yeah.
Communication is a two-way process. It's not just talk. It's talk and be received. How many of us are truly received with no judgment? Not interrupted, not judged, not ignored, not changed, not somebody's not even listening and they're 3 steps ahead trying to like win the conversation, right? This idea of going through a process and being so heard, so received, so safe, so understood, all that spinning and all those beliefs of negativity are going to literally be integrated. And then underneath it's been waiting the whole time. Your next inspiration's been waiting the whole time, but you can't access it when all this stuff is on top. It's just energetics. But when it's cleared away, people often say to me, I didn't even know that was in there. I'm like, I know, I didn't either. And it's delightful. It's delightful because we never get there. There's always the next inspiration, but we need to be brave and do the work to cultivate and clear the space for it to arise. And then we need to, fuel it and love it so that it can blossom.
Yeah. And then that next layer becomes not an obligation or responsibility, but it's what you talk about. It's the deliciousness. It's like, this is here. What? Okay. And it's like, and there's an excitement, there's a action prompt to it. It's just, it becomes a whole different type of intimate experience with your own creation.
Ah, yes. And that's the delight and the wonder of being alive. We're not doing it in order to accomplish and achieve. So we're finally good enough and we're safe and all that other stuff, right? We're doing it for the fuck of it.
Yeah.
For the deliciousness of it, just because we can, right? And this allows you when you wake up in the morning before you've accomplished anything to feel enough.
Mm-hmm.
How many of us wake up in the morning feeling enough? That's as a start point. And then, what would delight me today? Like that's our birthright.
I remember those days once ago and they kind of eluded me and I'm kind of glimpsing them every once in a while, but why can't it be our everyday experience? And if it isn't, then damn it, I'm going to commit myself and devote myself to making that.
Yeah. And in all transparency, back to the beginning of the conversation, when I did this and I was afraid and I did this and I was ashamed, I didn't wake up feeling like that for a while. I didn't. And I lost that. I lost my morning practice that was listening, because if I actually listened, I would have said, get out. But I didn't. I did my affirmations and I did my workout and I did this. I still did my morning practice, not the real morning practice though, right? So I understand that sometimes we all lose our way. But if you think of a DNA spiral, it keeps going up, but there's the dark side of the moon and then there's the sunshine, right? So it's okay if you're not like that all the time. But one of the things I'm very committed to, as I said, in India, is getting back that harmony, that balance of self-care and listening. I'll be feeling very safe on the other side of the planet, but also really learning to feel even more full from the overflow. There's still like a little bit of like, do I get to have it be that good?
Yeah.
But then there's a drive, like, but a true, not motivation from fear, but inspiration from love. I choose to discover who I am full, give from the overflow, and integrate my shame and be a role model that all of us can be this way, from total vulnerability, but willingness to be that.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. All right. So y'all are going to get 90-minute live intimacy training and energetic integration with Allana. That's the first item. And again, this is...
Oh, there's more stuff too. Yes. But
This integration and training, though, I want to remind it, is something that you're going to be able to use over and over and over again.
Totally. Yeah.
So this is a tool for life. And I love this. And that time with Allana alone, that's way more than...
It's honestly thousands of dollars. And really? I could give you some half-assed little program, but why would I do that? So this is like a full-on process that I do with my high-paying clients for all of you with the recording, so you can do it again and again. because it's important that you do the work. That's just what that is. Yeah.
Let's go into these other items, which are exciting for me also. I wanted to pull up the men's one, but I'll do that afterwards. But all this is, I love the way you teach.
Thank you. So yeah, there's also my latest, I have 6 books. My latest one, From Heartbreak to Heartmates. That's the book for you as well. Discover Lockdown Love. Because when I wrote the book, I figured we'd be done with it by now, but we're not. So it's still very applicable. I thought I'd have to change the title and the cover, but I don't yet. And also there's additional ebooks for her, for him. I think women is like How to Be and Stay Sexy. For the guys, what is it? How to get her to say yes, or is it a Noble Badass? I can't remember.
It's the Noble Badass, yeah.
The Noble Badass, yeah, the Noble Badass, and the meditations. And not to blow air at my skirt, but my meditations hold an activation of vibration, of frequency. And when you listen to them, it's as if I'm right here with you, because it's all captured in the meditation. So they go deep. They go as deep as you let me hold you and love you. So they're very, very powerful.
35 days of guided meditations for women.
Oh yeah, and men. Like, so there's both. So if you have a partner and you get the package, you can give a gift to your partner, vice versa, right? Yeah. So it's like the gift that keeps on giving. I've even had clients go through my 35 days of meditations and like their life trajectory literally changes. It's kind of it's flattering, but it's true. Those are the results you get with the meditation.
Amazing. What I've discovered about you, Allana, is that you're so well known in the personal development genre. And not that excludes spirituality, but it tends to, in most cases, it's personal development. And the esoteric, the energetics, the repatterning of our cellular memory and the DNA is not something that a lot of people in PD either talk about or that they're familiar with.
Yeah.
And in personal development, it's wonderful because it's very grounded. There's applicable action steps that you can start in A and wind up at Z, and there's notable improvements because it's proven over and over again.
Yeah.
You do that, and you bring in the esoteric, and you bring in the energetics, and you bring in, okay, there's the formula, but you can throw the formula out the window and use it this way, and it's all applicable, and it grounds in so beautifully for your clients.
Thank you. And it's delicious.
And it's delicious.
Yeah.
And
because why
sexy.
be here and not have like juicy fun, right?
Right.
So yeah, I'm smart and I'm woo-woo. And to me, if I'm going to be here, I don't want to be the embodiment of God consciousness. I want to be the delicious embodiment of God consciousness.
Now, there's another item you have on here that's I will want to go into this one also, but embrace the sacred erotic you.
Oh, yes.
And sexuality is a huge component where there's shame, there's guilt, there's self-judgment, there's body issue, things that come into play, and you disrupt all of that.
Yeah, that's what I kind of mean by the deliciousness.
Yeah.
It's so important to me that we can literally feel what it's like to be making love with God or the goddess as our very life. Not like a prolonged orgasmic climax, not like that, but the deliciousness. These were recorded in Costa Rica, in the jungle. And I was just one with the jungle and making love with nature, making love with life. And they're wonderful, especially if you're single or going out on a date with your beloved. You just sort of, you get ready and out you go, or maybe you're in your head or what's going to happen. These just make sure you're in your body and in your heart, and everything that you're hoping is going to happen has already occurred within you. So that feeling of fulfillment and then you go on your date, and then you go out. So yeah, they're sometimes I don't even, when I listen to my stuff that I record, I'm like, dang, that's good. So in the moment.
It is good. Yeah.
But yeah, this is important if you have, you've been hurt in the past, society about sexuality or your body, anything where you're just not knowing this is a divine temple and it is your birthright to make love with life. This is going to be really beautiful, but it's not like terribly erotic. It's not going to make you like nervous. It's not like I'm like, and then put his cock in your mouth. It's not like I'm going to say that, which is awesome. But they're not that sexy, okay? But
right.
They're sensual and yummy and very empowering.
Oh, and that's root chakra energy, and that's creation energy, and so many things that that inspires again, that intimacy and that joy for living and vitality. And again, we're taught to repress it, or we've kept it repressed for so long that we've forgotten how vital it is for the life that we say we want to create.
Oh, it's creation. It's life force energy. Sacred sexual energy is life force energy. So we want to be alive. It's our birthright.
Amazing. All right, we're going to get into Q&A here, y'all. But again, I want to invite you into this opportunity to work with Allana. It's offered through BTO. It's again, to have Allana for $97 for 90 minutes in a small intimate group. It's a gift. And I hope you give it to yourself and take the time. The live course is Tuesday, February 1st from 2 to 3:30 Pacific time. Of course, it'll be recorded and replays will be there. But show up live and participate. I'm assuming you'll take live Q&A and all that, right, Allana?
Absolutely. Yes. Yes.
And Allana's Q&A is epic. Epic. She's going to give you answers that are you may not expect, but also going to give you answers that are going to be very direct. And so be ready for a lot of truth telling, but you're going to be loved into really stepping into the best version of yourself. And being able to know how to hold that feel steady within yourself in a very sovereign way. So it's beautiful. So again, the link for the special offers in the chat box, y'all. April will type it in there again. $97, 2 payment options. You get the webinar, you get the ebooks. It's fantastic. Take advantage of it. And
all
again,
those yummy meditations. Yes. Lots of good
chat box. All right, and let's go to Q&A. And again, anyone, if you want to ask your question, you can type it into the chat box or raise your hand and I'll promote you to a panelist and we'll get going. And first caller we'll go with is Jenny. Let's go with you. Welcome.
Hey, John. Can you tell I'm trying to get my courage up to ask this question?
Well, you turn on your video and raise your hand. So I think you're already 90% of the way there.
I always raise my hand. I'm always ready to ask something, but Allana, thank you for being so vulnerable. That's what's given me the courage to ask this. For medical reasons, I'm in a consensual non-monogamous marriage, and it's very challenging because I love my husband very much. And I'm just hoping you can say something about how you can love more than one person in your life, because when we commit ourselves to someone, it's a long-lasting commitment, but there are things that come up and you don't always expect them. So that's my question.
So help me understand the question even more, Jenny. So how can you love more than one person? Or how can you be an allowance of another loving more than one person?
How can myself be an allowance of loving more than one person because of the guilt of not giving both all of my love?
Understood. So this is speaking from I've never been in a relationship like yours, so I can't map myself on. I can just let you know what I know. Guilt is, as you know, the lowest vibration, right, on Hawkins scale of consciousness. Guilt is self-punishment. So remember how I said all of reality?
Yeah.
So half of reality, you're doing a great job. You're feeling the pain. You're punishing yourself. You're feeling so much of the pain of what you're choosing with loving more than one person. I would encourage you to keep looking at what the benefits are, the gifts are of loving more than one person, so that you see everything and the guilt loses its sting and you're present to choice. Because last time I checked, love was infinite, right? So you as you see the benefit of loving more than one person. I mean, I remember having I have a son and I've had lovers and I can love them both. It's different, but I don't hold back with either. So that's the best I've got with an experience that's relatable. And I would just encourage you to notice you're stuck in this half and keep looking over on the other half of the benefits, the gifts, the advantages, how it's serving you and how it's serving them. Look in both directions. of where you see the service, and that ought to dissolve into presence. Does that resonate?
Thank you. That really did help tremendously. Thank you very much.
Yeah, my pleasure. My pleasure. Mwah.
Thank you, Jenny. Thanks for you sharing vulnerably.
Yeah.
So good. All right, let's go to our next caller, Ann Kaufman. Ann, welcome. And if you want to turn on your video, Ann, it'd be awesome to see you, but we'll need you to unmute as well.
I've got my video on, but I don't see it.
Oh, well, we hear your lovely voice. What's your question for Allana?
Let's stop video. Start video. Okay. Anyway, okay. I lost my zest for. I've been with you, Allana, for years and years, and when I turned 80, I lost my zest for life. I just really would like to go on and be out of here and move on. And something about your program today promises to bring that back. I mean, I have no real problems. I have a wonderful life. I have a great partner. And I've lost my zest for life.
Thank you. Thank you for being in my world all this time. I appreciate you. It's really interesting. When you first said it, I thought you said you lost your sister, but you said you lost your zest for life.
Yeah, I've got both sisters still. Yeah.
That's great. I'm glad to hear that. But there's something kind of curious about the way my brain heard that. If your zest was your sister, what would you be or do differently? What would you? Would you invite her? Would you invite her over? Would you say, "Hey, let's go out dancing, sister"? Would you talk to her? Would you pour a glass of wine and sit down and get your journal out and maybe talk to her? I feel like the zest for life needs to be spoken to, like it's an aspect of yourself. And if
I talk to my sister on the phone, but I have no real desire to see her.
That's fine.
I don't have a desire to see people.
I hear you. I'm saying, what if you thought of your zest for life as another sister and talked to her? She would probably say, "We have not gone dancing recently." Or, "When's the last time we sat under a tree?" And I don't know. I bet you zest for life as a energy has a lot to tell you if you'd listen. Does that make sense?
It makes sense, but it doesn't appeal to me.
Well, that doesn't surprise me because zest doesn't want to come around your life. Yeah, that makes complete sense to me.
You know, the thing I like to do most of all is sleep. I love sleep, where I just go, you know, where I leave. Yeah.
I understand. Well, that would be my encouragement, to get in a conversation with Zest and see what she has to tell you. And if you don't, yeah.
I think that's awesome, Allana. I was having a conversation with Allana before we went live, and talking to her, getting to this place about where just the way things are, and the saying for me, it's when good enough isn't good enough anymore.
Yeah.
And so the good enough of taking a nap and going to sleep and kind of waking up okay, and waking up in the place of this impassioned living just isn't attractive anymore. And so from that place, it's like, okay, I've got to do something different, even though it may be uncomfortable. It may be out of the box. I don't know. Even if I have resistance for it, I'm going to try something freaking different, because this can't continue. And so rather than thinking I can't be here anymore because I am here and I'm not about to take my own being, then I'm okay. Let me look at something else. And then, Judith, and it could seem like it's a deep process to try to figure that out on your own, but that's why we have these programs here on Beyond the Ordinary also. So they have experts like Allana, who's gonna like put you into the place where you can go, oh, I can do it that way, instead of thinking that I have to do it in the only way that I know how, that if we knew how, we'd already be doing it.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. So this program that we're going to be doing, we're going to be taking a belief, and then we're going to take it through this whole quantum psychology process. So you can take the belief of like, I don't know how to get zest back, right? Or I don't have zest for life anymore. We're going to take it all the way through to the other side. It could be something really quite deeply lodged in your imprinted being. Oh, there's my little cat going by. So let's go for it. My God, it's next to nothing to have this process together. Let's go for it. And in the meantime, I would get curious about this part of you, of why it doesn't want to come to play anymore. I mean, I've had this very same conversation with people with money. Like where's my money gone? I'm like, well, how do you talk to your money? Where's it been lately? I'm like, yeah, well, if money was your lover, why would it want to like date you? You're not very nice. So
I'm nagging your money. Yes.
yeah, it's all about our relationships with these aspects of ourselves. Yeah. Thank you, Anne.
And thanks for calling in. It's great.
Thank you, and it's good to see you again. And it's
Thank you.
You are one of my favorites.
Oh, I appreciate you, Anne. Thank you.
Allana's one of our favorites also. Thanks, Anne. All right, let's go to the next caller. Fiona, welcome to the call.
Can you hear me?
There we go. We can
Can you
hear
hear
you.
me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. Hi, John. Thanks, Allana. Well, Allana, I just really thank you. And I went through a similar abusive shame ordeal that you went through about 12 years ago. And I never heard it. I never felt heard the way I felt you really got that. I really thank you for that, because I know there's a huge healing right there.
Yeah.
And my situation was a bit different. It kind of went on and on and on until I was presented in front of all my friends at a dinner table, and then the dirty laundry was aired, and I thought, I don't have a choice here. Yeah. I feel like this is divine intervention.
Yes.
And unless I go, then I cannot raise my head anymore. So, but I really thank you for that. And it touched me deeply, and I feel finally I can heal that. So thank you for that.
Oh, great.
So I have a question, and I've been around spirituality work for 30 years now. Yeah. And when I was living in London, we felt 30 years ago that this whole evolution and raise of vibration and consciousness was going to happen then. And we've been hanging on and doing our work and carrying on. I feel so stuck. I feel like there are so many more people who are in the field of teaching, raising consciousness. And here in my little town in Moab, Utah, I feel there are people who've been on their path like a couple of years and they're doing great things. I feel like I can't even hear my spirit guides. I don't know where my path is. And I feel like I've been in this pool too long to even know my way out anymore. I feel stuck.
How curious. So I would say that maybe you're in a different dimension comparing yourself to a new lower vibration, but you're actually maybe higher than you think you are, but in comparison you feel stuck. But if you could just allow it to be there and keep rising, you don't I don't read you as stuck. I read you more as bored, exasperated.
Yeah, I'm bored and exasperated. You're right. I really am bored and exasperated.
Yeah. So just a new playground or some new people or something new and fresh, because I think you're going in a direction where there is no more juice for you. Dream bigger, be a little more bold, do a little something crazy, something a little messy.
Maybe I'll come and play out with you then, Allana.
I'm going to India. It's far from Moab, but I do love Moab. Yeah.
You know it, yeah.
No. I feel like you're just, maybe just give yourself permission to have it not look normal or a little crazy, or just give yourself a little more freedom, permission, a little juicier.
Yeah, okay.
You're there. I just feel like don't look there anymore. Look over here. Yeah, definitely. I'd love to play with you.
This also takes me to a place of where Allana was talking about non-judgment. And I think this is so important, because if you don't judge yourself, Fiona, that you're not where you're supposed to be, and you can actually be, it's like, well, if I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, what can I create from here?
Yeah.
It's a different context and a different inspiration for which to reach for something new than out of a necessity of grasping for something that's elusive, or out of the curiosity of like, I wonder what's next for me. It's a totally different energetic.
Yeah. I love what you're saying, John. And I almost want to say, Fiona, ask your pussy. I kind of want to want you to ask someplace different. Not ask your heart, or you're amazing. You seem really smart. You're super funky with your glasses. But I'm like, what would be naughty for Fiona?
Nice.
Wow. Let's see.
See, look at you. You're all
Here
sparkling.
you go, right away. It's like, aliveness is like, you're not bored right now. Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
No, I'm not bored right now. I'm having a lot of fun.
Oh, well, come play with us, Fiona. You're delicious.
I will.
Yeah. Okay. So lovely to meet
for
you.
calling
And I
in.
love your accent. I could listen to you all day.
Oh my God, Lana, you're so fun. Destiny, we've got you on the call. Let's get you to unmute.
Hey guys, good to be here. Thank you.
What is your question, love?
Oh my goodness. I am having issues with, I believe it's, well, my inner children, but I don't know if it's, I'm having problems staying in my body. So I don't know if it's my inner children running away or if it's interference creating them to run away.
Well, first, I just love that you know there's more than one. There's a whole gaggle of them in there. So that's amazing. I feel like calming them down and you being with them will allow you to stay in your body. And so the next, I don't know if it's the allowance that they're all just running around, or if they need to feel your groundedness so they calm down. But it's something about you and them coming together in here on the planet.
I'm having a hard time staying calm and grounded.
Yeah, I get that, which is what makes them run around or run away. Yes. Yes.
Is there like something that I can do to help them possibly? Or, I mean, are you getting something from them that maybe that I could help them with?
So what I'm getting is the big you, higher self you, the one who chose to be on the planet you, doesn't really want to be here. Doesn't want to protect them. Kind of similar to my father that didn't, or masculine energy that didn't want to protect. I just wanted to keep running and finding a safe man, even though I didn't want to admit it. It was still going on. There's something about you, the badass you, the I got this you, the I'm here, I chose to be here, you. It's more the higher, it's not about them to me. It's more about the you that's willing to be here, protect them, be with them, be grounded with them, like your higher self. And believe me, I didn't want to put on my big girl panties. I didn't want to grow up. I didn't want to take responsibility. I didn't want to hire a CMO. I didn't want to like break up with this guy. I didn't want to heal with my dad. I didn't want to do it. It's all hard. It's not sexy and fun initially, you know, take something. But once I did, something in me grew, something empowered grew inside of me.
So it's empowerment, basically empowerment of my life.
You're a queen, not a girl. It's that energy. Yeah.
Okay.
It's in you. It's just the next phase of your evolution. You're not behind or ahead. It's just your next phase.
Thank you.
You're a queen.
Thank
girl.
you for that.
You're welcome.
Thank you, John.
Beautiful, Destiny. Thank you for calling in. Allana, this brings to mind, I had a ceremony with myself. I actually had to reach out to a friend who holds such beautiful space. I said, I need you to ask me a question.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, of course, what's the question? And I need you to ask me if I'm willing to devote myself, to marry myself in that way. And I needed to speak it out loud to someone, for someone else to witness, kind of like a marriage and someone else witnessing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Union. And it was in the devotion to myself.
Yes.
That something awoke, that those things that perhaps I've been working on and had moved mountains of energy with, but that were still lingering through some repetitive patterns in relationship or business or in health, it required that devotion.
Yeah.
And really, I believe that where consciousness has been leading us, as we've had lots of time for introspection, lots of time for discovering more of who we are and the lots of different emotions that have been heightened collectively.
Yep.
That we've gotten to a point where that self-intimacy is aware enough, and where are we saying that we are going to devote? We're being called up in leadership, but self-leadership, self-love.
Totally.
And so
Totally.
where do we devote to ourselves? And if we're really in this pain, if we're really in this inquisition, it's like, why does this keep repeating, or why don't I know? I think a missing ingredient, or a key ingredient, not necessarily missing, is that, okay, this is
Yeah.
what I'm committed to.
Yeah. Oh,
And
it's,
there's a huge shift that happens, right?
yeah. Total shivers as you're talking, John. It's so good. If I look back at this last year since we spoke last time, I was devoted to most of me, but not all of me, not the part I was still ashamed of, the part I hadn't forgiven. Right. And so
Right.
now the next piece was being devoted to her as well, protecting her as well, this wholeness as well, this willingness to receive. And I hope you all like me, and that's lovely if you do, but I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I'm here to love the shit out of you, whether you think I'm a crazy person or not. Like, I'm just devoted to being me. It's just too exhausting to worry about everybody else. Like, whatever you think, I'm here to give from the overflow and serve and be devoted to me.
Yeah.
And I'm still evolving.
Yeah. Well, and you're an intimacy expert, and you teach about, finding the person and going through dating and aligning with the dating and going into intimate sacred relationship.
But not unless you become the one.
Exactly.
To find the one.
And many of us have only been dating ourselves, judging whether we're the right one, whether or not. It's like we've been dating ourselves over and over and over, and rejecting us and coming back and cheating on ourselves and abandoning ourselves.
Ghosting ourselves.
Forgiveness and ghosting ourselves.
Totally.
And why can't I find the relationship that I want? Why can't I find the sacred one? Or why can't I find my business purpose and all that? It's because the devotion to, hey, I'm going to be here consciously and to follow through.
Yeah.
Nurture.
Yeah. Just makes me almost want to cry, John, because I've never loved myself this much. And it came from forgiving myself.
Yeah.
And being devoted to myself. So I so get it. You're amazing. I love it.
So beautiful. So beautiful. It's just, got to do it's, and y'all are so beautiful and amazing and such lights that it's like, please
Right?
say yes to you. Create that change in the world through you, please.
Yes.
I don't need you to fix out the pollution of the world. Just emanate who you are. Please. Allana, there's another question I want to take everybody. The special offer of Allana. Again, I've already talked about how amazing of an offer it is. And again, this one-on-one opportunity, to get to work with Allana so intimately at this price point is extremely rare. So y'all take advantage of it. The link's in the chat box. You know where to find it now. It's $97. We give you a 2 payment option. Just do it.
We're going to have so much fun.
Karen, I'm going to take your question here in a second. Allana, I want to ask you something for everybody on the call. And really, it's listen at a deeper level as to where your inner child and the one within you that doubts sometimes, or that doesn't believe, or that's just lost resolve. Allana, is there anyone that you worked with that can't make a breakthrough, that is so stuck that nothing will ever evolve, that they can't get to the other side? Have you ever experienced that?
No.
Thank you.
That's the end of my sentence. I mean, if you don't show up for the friggin' call, okay.
Of course.
So
Of course.
yeah, that's that person, but no, never.
And I wanted y'all to hear that, because no matter where you are, there's that light, it's beyond hope and it's beyond faith. There's a knowing that you have, or else you wouldn't be showing up to these calls or be attracted to Allana's work or be doing it. There's something in you that already knows the other side of it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so much. It's like we're already quantum entangled. It's like your soul already knows. Like whenever anybody comes to want to work with me, they actually don't talk to me anymore. They talk to my intimacy success advisor. But regardless, they feel it. And as soon as their application comes through, and then I read their thing and I give them a video. we already know we were meant to dance.
Yeah.
We already know we planned this. And whether this is just for one call with John or a year coaching or a retreat or whatever, we already know. I know the same thing when I sign up with my coaches too. I'm no different than you. We just know there's a piece. We know there's a piece.
Right.
No, and I've never not been able to help anyone. No, never. I get scared. Some of us have some pretty big issues. I will be honest. And now that I'm working with couples as well, and it's like double the trouble, whatever. Like, so I'll say I'm human, but I'm not very good at accounting, and I'm a so-so cook. But this is my genius. This is, I could literally just show up and just know
You just know.
I
Yeah.
just know what to do. This is my thing.
I wanted y'all to hear that. I want you guys to feel just the confidence of someone who knows through their innocence and courage what's possible.
Yeah.
I mean, truly, you felt Allana's vulnerability, and there's so much innocence in that vulnerability. And again, the power that comes through that of knowing yourself and your capabilities, it's gold, and no one can ever take that away from you. And here you have someone who's willing to teach that embodiment in the way they've experienced it for you also. So it's beautiful.
Thank you.
All right, Karen, let's go to you. If you'll unmute, please.
Hi, it's such an honor and a pleasure to be here. I've been with John for about 6 months now.
Nice.
Awesome.
All his wonderful guests, and my heart is so big right now. And I'm going to be signing up as soon as I get off. I didn't want to take a chance on missing out and not getting to talk. It's so exciting. I am 58, and I was a lifelong gymnastic coach and elementary and middle school teacher.
Nice.
And I've worked with hundreds and thousands of kids. And I'm not going to do that anymore. And I took care of my mom for 20 years with dementia, and she passed away the past year, and she was 89. And my dad, they divorced when I was 6, and he passed away 6 months apart from her, and he didn't have dementia. And I'm just like searching for my life's purpose. I have 3 college degrees, and they're just a variety of things, and I have so many diverse interests, and I've been praying and meditating, and I can't get clarity on what my life purpose is and what it's supposed to be, but I'm just so excited and to use my gifts. And I just I'm ready for that next level of experiencing the downloads from the universe and then sharing it. And I want to get it right,
That's what it is.
I want to get it right.
Yeah. So Karen, first it's like time for Karen, isn't it?
Oh yes.
Finally time for Karen, which is amazing.
Yes, it is.
And I'm like, what is the block? And then there it is right there. I want to get it right. So that's up in here. And the judgment is in here. And when we integrate that, you'll drop down and you'll know what you know. It's not up here. And you can't get it wrong because it's you, Karen. But you don't have access to it yet, and that's okay. You've been putting everyone else first for a long time. And it's going to take a little bit of time, not a long time, but a little bit of time to put Karen first and integrate all those pieces until it clunks in. And your voice is quite high right now because it's up here. But when your voice starts to resonate from where I was asking Fiona to talk to her pussy, when it starts to resonate deep down in your sacred, in the dark of your womb, the birth of what Karen is, up through your potency, up through your healed open heart, you will speak with a resonance from your body, and you will know what you know, and you're going to do it for the fun of it. You're just at the beginning of this next phase. You're in the right place. Yeah, at this beginning of your journey, and I'd love to support you. Yeah.
Oh, I do. I want to work with you. I've always had this problem my whole life. I like so many different things. It's hard for me to choose. And gymnastics was my thing. I coached all my life, and now I'm not doing that anymore. And I want to help the planet. I have scientific training. I have sociology, psychology. I worked with kids. Now I want to work with adults. I respect my elders. I took care of people my whole life, and I love to dance and be out in nature. I just don't know what I want to do. But I
That's-
want to start an online coaching business, or like a life intuitive coaching business. I just don't know. There's so many things I could do.
I know. And it's making you sad because you're scared of making the wrong choice. And that's all chin up, my love. So if you keep talking about it, we're just going to stay up here, and that's okay. But I'm going to invite you to put yourself at first into this call, and then invite you as far as you'd like to feel like dancing. Keep on dancing with me, and we'll get you all into the truth in your body. You're never going to find the answer up here, babe. Never.
I
Right?
know.
There's some tears there, fears and
What?
tears. Yeah, that's that group, that singing group, Tears and Fears. What was it
Tears
called?
Tears for Fears. Yeah.
Tears for Fears. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, there's that right now. And we're going to get you down into the depth of your knowing. So let go of needing to figure it out tonight. Surrender and trust, and start walking this next phase of your journey. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Yeah.
And Karen, I have to tell you, that's why I bring on these amazing guests on Beyond the Ordinary show, because we don't know, we don't have all the answers by ourselves. Thank God, because then we would miss out on intimacy with others.
Yes.
So this place of being afraid or trying not to get it wrong or whatever, that's why we make, first of all, these packages so financially accessible, because to work in these programs that we have on BTO typically costs hundreds of dollars more than what's being offered on BTO. So there's access. We offer a free platform, so at least you get access to the energetics, to what's available, to see someone who's embodied, leading from that embodied wisdom. And then to drop in with them and go, oh, I'm in resonance with someone else that has a different skill set than I do, that can help me awaken that part of me that I can't see yet.
And Karen, I'm no different than you. Tomorrow is an 8-hour VIP with my CMO. I am a little scared. But that's okay. We're starting with the end in mind. My TV show that I desire. I still haven't had the courage to go for it, because I just keep myself so busy serving people all day, kind of like you, taking care of people all day. And so this CMO sees my soul and is smart. So I'm taking action, like I'm asking you to take action. Yeah. Ask for help.
Yeah, amazing. And I have to share a story with you guys. And Allana, I wonder what comes up for you around this also. And I know that you're going to add to it so beautifully. I had an experience in Mount Shasta. Without getting too far into it, I was having this conversation with my guides.
Yeah.
And they're like, and I was just in so much gratitude because life was freaking amazing. It's like, you've gotten me to this, and look at how life is and how abundant I am. I even had a conversation with a business coach today. If you made more money, what would that allow you to do that you're not doing now? I'm like, it's a barometer for me that I'm reaching more people, which makes me happy. But would it give me anything more than I have now? Maybe a bigger house or another fleet of cars or whatever. But no, it's like, it wouldn't give me anything that I'm lacking. I'm not lacking in that. It's like, and it brought up this perspective of where my guides were asking me, well, what do you want to do next? Well, I just want to serve. Everything's so wonderful. I just want to give back. I just want to be of service. And this was about a 30-minute conversation back and forth where they kept asking me the same question. Then we're going to stop you right there. What if you have already done everything of service? What if your service time is over because you have repaid that karmic debt you've provided to society, your intelligence and your energy has been received by those who were here to receive it? And what if you just get to choose what you would do if you've completed all of your service? What would you do? That's a big question, right?
Was there an answer?
I had to sit with it. And what came the answer from the guides were like, you're so used to seeing in advance what's going to happen intuitively that you're always preparing for the next thing. So you're always doing. We love you so much that we're going to take that gift away from you, and we're going to give you something else, because that's no longer a gift, it's an encumbrance.
Yeah.
And so it may feel like we're abandoning you, but we're with you all along. But the best gift that we can give you, because we love you so much, and you need to learn how to receive it more, is the gift of awe and wonder. So in the not knowing, we get to appreciate the magic. We get to appreciate the synchronicities. We get to appreciate the love in ways that are innocent and brand new, rather than creating the expectation of what we think we have to create next to receive that awe, to receive that wonder, to receive that intimacy. It's beautiful.
I love this. I
Right.
love this. Yeah.
So
To
for
me,
Karen, right, of being, I have to be of service. What if you don't?
yeah. Yeah. The difference between, for me, John, is like service and contribution. Service is when it's been one way and I'm serving others and I'm frankly depleted, but fulfilled that I'm making a difference, right? But it's one directional. For me, the
Right.
contribution is this figure eight when it comes back. So everything I'm doing is simultaneously being given to me. And I sort of see this with relationships, which is why I started Heartmates. I had soulmate relationships. You complete me. It was a karmic contract, so we could each grow, but it was one half and half is one. Well, what about a heartmate or a whole mate relationship where one and one is infinity?
Yeah.
Right? This figure eight with another. Well, we can't have that on the outside if we're not having that on the inside. So to allow myself to have just as much joy received as I am giving, as I am receiving more, being able to give more. Oh my God, okay, you're gonna have this much joy. I give them, like, just have this figure, like, yeah, bring that level of rapture. Rapture. Word. Yeah.
And learning to receive is a bitch.
Oh, massive courage, massive self-worth.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, massive letting go to be able to receive. So that's my edge right now. It could get that good.
Well, and you teach that though through your dating. Again, you've been on the leading edge of this for lots of years, and you may seem like you're at the edge of this learning curve that you're on, but really from your experience and what you bring to the table, you're really being a hierarchy of embodied wisdom that other people are still finally dipping their toes in.
Thank you.
And it's,
I think receiving that I'm a role model is my next level of self-confidence.
yeah, amazing. Oh my God, Lena, we can go all night with you. Amazing. Y'all, the special offer, Lena, again, the link's in the chat box. You can go to beyondtheordinaryshow.com/Allana27. The special offer, take advantage of it. Tonight's replay will be up in a couple of hours as we run through the video, put up the description and all that, but we'll send you an email with the replay link so you can come back and be in this energy and witness Allana and feel what she's bringing for you. And you can always find the replays on our replay page in case you're not getting the emails or don't feel like finding it. Just go to beyondtheordinaryshow.com/replay and it'll be right there, including with the link for the special offer as well. I say sign up for it now so you don't have to delay. And so you don't forget that the class starts February 1st. It's coming up soon.
Yeah, soon.
So be live on that call. Don't wait until tomorrow to sign up for it. Just get it over with now. It'll take you 2 minutes and you'll be done and you'll get all the links. So again, take advantage of that. And Allana, oh my God, I'm so excited for India to have you. And thank you so much for just this spark that you bring to consciousness and spirituality and personal development into living. Just it's amazing to be with you and to get to witness that.
Oh, thank you. And thank you for having me. Thank you for being such a deep, wide listener and seeing me and giving me this opportunity to love your people. It's such an honor. And anything I can ever be there for you, John, with all that you're up to in the world. I believe in you and it's an honor to know you and be your friend and colleague. So I'm here with whatever you need.
Thank you so much. You too. And everybody on this call, we have your back. Come back to us. We're here for you. And it's my wish is that all of you just thrive and find joy and find that awe and wonder in your life. That sexy sensuality that Allana talks about so beautifully.
We are better together, people. Yep.
Amazing. Allana, thank you. Everybody, thank you. I love you. I look forward to seeing you on the next call and have a fantastic weekend. I'll take care.
Bye. Thank you again.